Good evening, everyone. I'm Neha, Ambassador of Change from GETI, that is Global Education and Training Institute, founded and conceptualized by Dr. Sunita Gandhi with the vision of disrupting education as we know it. We organize pre service and in service training for teachers so that they can, in the real sense, spearhead this disruptive education movement. On the same lines and on the same banner, along the same banner, we also organize deep talks where we invite bureaucrats, policymakers, researchers, and academicians from around the world to discuss various best practices in education with us. Today, this evening, I am very honored and thrilled to have Mr. Professor Shahryar Parvez, join us from Bangladesh. A very warm welcome to you, sir. Um,
Well,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Shahryar Parvez, he has garnered huge attention and popularity as an academician, as a researcher, and he's involved with a lot of universities, institutions, think tanks. He is a think tank in himself. His specialization stands in finance and banking. And today he is going to be discussing a very important topic of project-based learning, blended learning with Bloom's taxonomy, and he's going to be talking in depth about that. Professor, would you like to introduce your topic before we start the presentation that you have prepared to give our
okay.
a hint
Yes.
about
Thank
it?
you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Giti, for inviting me this kind of knowledgeable and resourceful platform. And also, I thank Neha because you are today's mentor and today's leader for this program. And basically, today we are talking about the higher education or tertiary education with the help of the Bloom's taxonomy. And it is also related to the curriculum development and also the activity based learning system around the world. So, this is my simple topic. Today, I discuss on this topic.
We're absolutely all our teachers and audience and people who will be watching it. Really looking forward to it, sir. I will add your presentation to the screen now. You can take this ahead from here and explain us in depth about your topic. Yes, sir. Your presentation is visible.
Okay. So, this is MD Shahryar Parvez. Already you know my name. And today I am actually presenting the topic. These are my affiliation. So today actually I am presenting the topic related to the tertiary education and activity-based learning with Bloom's taxonomy. So, as an educator or as a teacher of the universities or school or colleges, you must know about this Bloom's taxonomy, or you must coordinate or correlated this taxonomy with the education system. And already I told that today's focus point is the tertiary education and activity based learning with Blooms. Now let's come to the more deepest of this topic, and it is for the sustainable future education. So now come to the next point, that higher education. So, a higher education qualification can lead to increased earning potential, a wide range of opportunities, and a more rewarding career. So, no matter what your circumstance, it could be the right choice for you. So, it is related with the earning potential. So, activity based learning is very much important for today's world. Now, come to the point that qualification, educational qualification level. So if we just divided this qualification level, then we can find out that there are several levels are here. In the entry level, So this is the basic knowledge or skill and ability to learning applying in everyday situation. Now come to the level number 2, which is actually the basic and knowledge and skill ability to apply the learning with the guidance and supervision. So it is actually their GCSE grades or something about according to the England. Now we come to another point, that is our next level is A level or grade A, which is actually related with good knowledge, good understanding of the subject, ability to do variety of tasks with some, and guidance of the supervision, and suitable for many jobs and role. And in the next level we can observe that it is little bit higher level, which is a certificate of higher education or it is a diploma. So here the specialized learning involving detailed analysis of high level of information and knowledge in the area of work or study, suitable for people working in technical and professional job or managing the developing of others. Now come to the point in the level number 5, we observe that it is little bit higher from the level number 4, that what they give you actually it is the ability to increase the depth of the knowledge and understand of the area of work or study. So you respond to complex problem and situation and also involved with high level of work expertise and competence with managing and training the other, and suitable people for the people working as a higher grade technician and professional and manager. Now, level number 6, it is the bachelor degree or the professional graduate or the graduate diploma is also. And in this level, it is a specialized high level of knowledge of area of work and allow to you to use your own idea, your research in response to the complex problem and situation, suitable for the people working as knowledge-based professional or professional management position. Now we come to the next level, that is actually level number 7, which is related with master degree, postgraduate certificate, etc. It is the highly developed and complex level of knowledge enable you to develop original response to the complicated and solution the problem according to your situation and suitable for the senior professional and manager. And after that, level number 8, it is a doctoral degree or postdoctoral degree. It is the opportunity to develop a new creative approach that extend to refine extension of your knowledge, your professional practice, and it is suitable for the expert, the practitioners or particular field. Why we present this educational level? Because in our today's presentation related with the tertiary education, so we already know there are primary, secondary and tertiary, so these are the level related with the tertiary. Now we come to our next point, that is called the Bloom's taxonomy. So most of the faculties in the universities or in the colleges already knows this taxonomy level, but there are some of the point that after 2019 or 2020, these are very much important in around this world because it is related with the activity level learning, activity based learning. When I worked with the World Bank, when I worked with the HECE project, when I worked with the IQC project, I see that this taxonomy actually so much important to development, the sustainable future education. So let's go to the slides. So it is little bit deeper when I start this presentation. So who is actually Blooms? It is actually a professional. He actually the American educational psychologist. So he understands the psychological behavior of a student, and he actually created Bloom's taxonomy in 1956 to promote the higher order thinking in education. It is the thinking or leveling the education. So contributed towards the research in various learning topics. Now, in the Bloom's taxonomy in 1956, Professor Blooms actually invented the education related to the intellectual behavior of human. And during the 1990s, a group of cognitive and psychologists actually Lauren Anderson, the former students of Bloom's, actually changes the Bloom's taxonomy for the 21st century. And the original sequence of cognitive skill was knowledge, comprehension, application, analyze, synthesize, and evaluation. The framework was revised in 2001 by Lauren Anderson and his fellow, and they revised the Bloom's taxonomy according to the synthesize and removed the synthesize, and they added there the creation, the highest level of Bloom's taxonomy. And being at the highest level, implication is that it is the most complex and demanding cognitive skill, at least represent a kind of cognitive task. Now we come to the another slide, that is this system defines the different capabilities in a hierarchical fashion that may be developed for the learner, for the learning experience. And these capabilities are not restricted to any specific subject area. They are described in terms what the learning will be able to prove that they have achieved the various level of learning outcome. The scheme identify and classify the product learning experience. Now we come to the three major domain of Bloom's taxonomy. So in the Bloom's taxonomy, it is actually invented in 1956, and after that in 2001 Anderson changed it. There are three: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Three domains are related here. So in a cognitive domain, it is actually the mental skill, the knowledge, what we know. In the affective, there is a growth in feeling and emotional area. That is your attitude, that how we feel. And in a psychomotor, it is the manual, this is the physical skill, that how we do. So combination of three domain, it is combine the three domain and invent and create the activity based learning system in the tertiary education. Now, in this three domain, the cognitive is for the mental and intellectual skill, that is called knowledge. Affective, it is for growth in feeling or emotional area, that is attitude. And psychomotor for the manual or physical skill, that is the skill. So here is the three domain. Under this three domain, there are some subdomain. Under the cognitive domain, we have the remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. In the affective domain, we have some subdomain, that is receiving, responding, valuing, organization, and characterization. In the psychomotor stage, we have the imitation, manipulation, precision. So these are the subdomain of the Bloom's taxonomy domain. So this is the relation between the three domain. In the cognitive domain, we can relate it to the affective domain. Also, we relate the cognitive domain with the psychomotor and affective domain. And also, we relate the cognitive domain with the psychomotor domain. So these are the actually the behavioral thing we observe in our student. And as a teacher, as a faculty, you must understand this domain clearly. So in the cognitive domain, you already know there is the knowledge, there are comprehension, there are application, there are analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. These are the steps of cognitive domain. And in a Bloom's taxonomy, we already said that in a new version, the synthesis is actually changed and it is come to the evaluation part, that is actually creating part. So you already observe in the slides that there are two uh, uh, parameter is here. In the tertiary level, we are actually apply the tertiary level from the analyzing, from the evaluating, and from the creating part. Now, the original Bloom's taxonomy in 1956, they have the knowledge domain, which is involves the recall of specific and universal, the recall of methods and process, or recall of pattern, structure, or setting. In the comprehension level, it is refers to a types of understanding, and also it is communicate and can make use of the material or idea being communicate with necessarily related it to other material and see its implication is final as implication. And also in the application stage, it is related to the use of the abstraction in particular and construct the situation. In the Bloom's taxonomy, there is an analyzing part. In the analysis part, you must analyze something which is communicate to the elements or parts that is related the hierarchy, or it made clear, or the relationship between the express are made explicit. So in the synthesis, you putting together all the elements and parts form a whole. And in the evaluation part, you are actually the level of judgment. You judgment or you judge about the value of material and methods for given the purpose. And now we come to the first point, that is the cognitive stage. In the cognitive stage, knowledge is power. So as a faculty, you must understand that knowledge is power for your student. And in the cognitive stage, we already observed there are some sub stages here, or level of cognitive actually started from the knowledge, then comprehension, then application, then analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So these are the original and modified cognitive domain. We already observed this thing. And what is the main point? Main point is recall or remember. In the first point of cognitive domain, that is recall or remember. If we just understand this thing, like in our children, when they go to the school or colleges or university, we just give them a textbook and we say, read it, memorize it, and from their memorization, we take the exam and they give their exam and we grade it. So this is called the recall. They just remember and they just recall the thing. Who is there remember? Actually, it is related with the define, write, record, and underline the revel. Can the student recall or remember the information? If we ask the question, yes, they recall it for a short period of time. But after a longer period of time, if I ask a student that what's the book name, what's the text name which you read in your semester one, he or she doesn't give that answer, because after the longer period of time, we just forgot everything after if we recall or remember this thing. And after this thing, we have the comprehension level. It is the ability to show understanding the ideas. And in this level, we have to interpret, we have to classify, we explain, summarize, discuss, and translate. And can the student explain idea or concept? So it is your duty as a faculty to understand this thing from your student, that yes, if your student explains something, if your student interprets something, summarize something, then yes, he or she now in this level of comprehension. And after that, apply. So apply, ability to apply knowledge and idea order to meet the demands of situation or problem. So here the student will be predict, demonstrate, they find, they solve, they discover, they modify, they perform, they execute. So as a faculty, we ask ourselves, can my student use the information in a new way? If he or she will be able to do that, then yes, he or she actually stay in this apply level. And after that, analyze, ability to idea with situation where elements have to analyzed and is restructured before relevant idea can be applied. So here is breakdown, categorize, conclude, diagram, estimate, order. So can the student distinguish between the different parts of any object? If he or she do this, then yes, it is his or her level that he or she analyzing something. So this is the part of analyzing, that examine in detail, like what is the motivation here. You can list the part, what conclusion can you draw, how would you classify, how would you categorize, how would you evidence can find you, what is the relationship between, how it's related to other. These are the level of analysis level. Now we come to our next point, that is the evaluate, and it is ability to judge the qualification or quality or value of material or reference to the appropriate criteria. Here your student will be argue, criticize, compare, decide, judge, justify, verify, support and define. So can the student justify a standard or decision? So as a faculty, as a teacher, you must understand this thing from your student. So now we already know that Bloom's taxonomy actually revised the domain in 2001. And in 2001, the domain is changed in the number, it is come to the remember instead of knowledge, then comprehension instead of understand, application instead of apply, so analyze instead of analysis, and evaluate and create. So this is the new Bloom's taxonomy domain. It is a revised Bloom's taxonomy. So this is the part number 6, that create, ability to put idea together in a new way that reach beyond what has been specifically taught, like argue, combine, construct, design, plan, redesign, formulate, and we must question ourselves that can the student create a new product or point of view. If he or she do this, or if it is possible for him or her, then it is the stage for creation level you create in your student. Now, the revised Bloom's taxonomy actually has the remember. In this remember, we have the recognizing and recalling. We have the understand, here the interpreting, classifying, summarizing, and comparing and explaining. We have the apply, what is that is related with executing and implementing. We have to analyze, that is differentiating, organizing. We have to evaluate, that is checking, and we have to create, that generating, planning, and producing. So Bloom's cognitive domain actually related with two order, that is lower level learning and higher order learning. We observe that point number 1, 2, and 3 actually related with lower level learning, which is related with the basic, primary, or secondary learning level. And in the higher order, the tertiary learning level actually related with analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So if we just change the another point, that we can also say that in a primary and secondary level, we also apply the remembering and understanding level. And after that, we must apply analyzing, evaluating, and creating in the tertiary educational level. So in the cognitive domain, we observe that there are remember and understand. Actually, it is related the ladder that remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, create. So these are actually supportive thing, explorer and design. Now, separate taxonomy of the types of knowledge. Like if we just concentrate of the knowledge, then we understand that in the Blooms there are different types of knowledge actually related. Like factual knowledge, it is knowledge of the terminology, knowledge of specific details or elements. Like conceptual knowledge, knowledge of classification and categorize, knowledge of principle and generalization, knowledge of theories, knowledge of models and structure. And also it is related the another types of knowledge, and after that is metacognitive knowledge is related, which is the strategic knowledge. For the tertiary education, it is very much important that your student must touch this knowledge, the strategic knowledge, and strategy knowledge about the cognitive task, including the appropriate contextual, conditional knowledge, and self knowledge. So this is actually the list of the knowledge that in this knowledge, in the remember, we have the list, describe, tabulate, and appropriate use. In the understanding domain, we are summarizing, interpret, predict, and execute. And in the applying domain, we have the classify, experiment, calculate, and construct. Also, in the analyzing part, we have the order, explain, differentiate, achieve. In the evaluate part, we have the rank, we have access, we have conduct, we have action. And in the creating part, we have the combine, plan, compose, and actualization. So this is come to the action verb according to the Bloom's taxonomy. In the Bloom's, actually, it is related to the action verb. As a faculty, you must apply this thing in your student, because in the remember, the action verb is related with count, define, describe, find, identify, match. Also in the understand, you have the action verb conclude, demonstrate, illustrate, interpret. In the apply level, you have the changes, you have the compute, you execute, prepare, interview. In the analyzing part, you have analyze, characterize, classification, deduct, debate. In the evaluate part, you have argue, you have conclude, decide. And in a creating part, you have create the design, develop, make, organize, platform, plan, and something. And this is the Bloom's taxonomy digital planning verbs. So this is the digital verb. So you can find it for all this thing from the net, and it is available in the net. So it is don't think that I just prepared this thing from my core of knowledge. No, I just evaluate this thing, I just analyzing this thing and made it for the audience. So you can search in this thing as your will from, because today's world is a global world, and we have all these things in our laptop, in our mobile phone, and also in our Google Classroom. Now another point is here that advice of educationist, that when we are green we are growing, when we are ripen we are ready to rot. So as a faculty, you must understand the level of knowledge of your student and always motivate them that yes, you are green, so you will be grow. Otherwise, after this level of when you just touch each of the level, sometime your student understand that no, it is not possible for me, or it is not possible to catch up this thing in my mind. So now we come to the another slide, that is another domain that is related with the effective. So your attitude is a little thing, but it make a big difference. So it is your attitude that determine your altitude. So in a affective domain, it is not possible to reach the affective domain because it is related with the emotion, that how emotionally you touch the mind of your student. So in the affective domain, you have the receiving, responding, and valuing. So in a receiving phenomena, you have the awareness of this of your student, you have the willingness to hear, you selected the attention of your student, who actually the more attentive student, who is not. So those who are not understand your lecture, you must receive them, that why they are not able to understand your lecture. Then responding to the phenomena, activate, participate on the part of the learner. And valuing, it is the worth or value of a person. So in an affective level, you have also organize the value according to the priorities, and also characterize. So has a value system that control their behavior. I already said that behavior is the main thing. So these are the action verb related to the affective domain, that it accept, listen, receive, perceive, decide, influence. Also it is related to determine and appreciate and judge. And this is the ladder that in the Bloom's taxonomy level, you receive it, then response, then valuing, then organizing, then characterizing. So this is very important part for you, because in this level actually you and me cannot ensure that we can go or we touch the level of affective domain. Now come to the point, that is psychomotor domain. So action speaks louder than word. So this is related with the psychomotor, and under the psychomotor domain, you have the imitation, that is observing and patterning the behavior after someone else. You have the manipulation, being able to perform creation or certain action by following the instruction or participation. You have the precision, you refine, you become more complex. Then you articulate, so and you naturalize, have a high level performance, that without needing anything much about it. So this is the build up the skill inside you. So these are the action verb actually related with psychomotor stage. It is the insert, it is loud, disconnect, replace, tune. So these are the action verb related. And also there are imitation, manipulation, precise. Then these are the Bloom's taxonomy level of psychomotor domain. Now the point is here, that in a cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, these three domain actually give us some level. In a cognitive, we have the remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create. In the affective, we have receiving, response, valuing, organizing, characterization. In the psychomotor, we have the imitation and also manipulation, precision, and so on. Now, the question is here, that do you know what option your students select for the learning? No. It is not possible to understand or know for a faculty, for a teacher, because this is the perception. This is related with the perception, that how can your student related with these types of domain inside them. So now here is the point, that you don't know the destination of your short. So we don't know that where my student cope up it or not, but we apply it, we try it, we improve their perception, we improve their affection level, we improve their psychomotor level. So here you observe that 155 passengers of US Airways had no option but to stand on the plane wing in the immediate aftermath of the crash. So what type of learning this is? A pilot doesn't learn this thing, that how can they landed his or her plane in a like in water. So So this is one kind of a skill that this pilot has, the psychomotor skill that he applied at that moment. Now we come to another little bit different point, that is, as a faculty, you must understand the lesson plan format of your for your student, because these are the Bloom's taxonomy we already understand, but how can we apply in our lesson plan format, because we apply it for the student. So when you create your lesson plan, you create according this system, like your title, your reference number, your target population, your aim, your time, and also learning outcome, because activity based learning actually must related with the learning outcome system. And you also give the content, that method or technique, how can you teach, the resource you applied, the timing you applied. So this is the lesson plan format for your student. And this is one question paper that is actually makes this question paper related with the Bloom's taxonomy. Like you draw, this is action verb from the Bloom's taxonomy. You saw, you shown. This is also related the Bloom's taxonomy action verb, and also differentiate. So in your question pattern as a faculty, you must apply Bloom's verb, action verb, so that your student can easily cope up with Bloom's, because your student doesn't know what is Bloom's taxonomy, but you are the faculty, you are the mentor, you are the creator, you know everything. So it is your duty that how can you get something from your student by applying the Bloom's in your organization, in your course, in your curriculum. Now, this is analyzing of the question with Bloom's. Like you can create this thing like question number 1, marks 10, Bloom's cognitive domain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we already know that in a 1 we have remember, then understand, then analyze, evaluate, synthesize, create. So in a question number 1, your student get number 7 out of 10. So this is the question according to the Bloom's taxonomy. You can also marking your student by applying the Bloom's level of cognition in your institution. And it is very much important for you to apply Bloom's each and every point, like your curriculum, like your uh, course outline, like your learning outcome, also like your activity based learning for the tertiary education system. And here is the table of specification. You also apply this thing in your institution. And here is the remember, the understand, the apply, the analyze, the evaluate, and create. And if you apply this thing according to the Bloom's, you already know that where is student stand for which stage actually your student now belongs. So this is one technique you can apply. Also, you can apply in your curriculum. It is very much important, because most of the universities or colleges actually mix up the curriculum. So you must or you should have a single curriculum for all the student, for all the that is called standardized curriculum for all. So it is important. Like in a learning outcome, you must identify, prepare, assign, and modernize. Also, you have the course content, you have teaching learning strategy, and you have the assessment strategy. And you must give this course profile for each and every course and provide it to your student at the first day of the start of the semester. Now come to the point, that is the course plan or syllabus. It is also related with the Bloom's taxonomy. Like you must type the topic name, that class number 1, topic number 1, and you apply the demonstrated stage of the student learning outcome from the Bloom's. Topic number 2, you apply the applying stage from the Blooms. Topic number 3, it is related to the solving thing from the Blooms. So you can also prepare your course plan and syllabus according to the Blooms. Now there are few questions like name and differentiate three domain of Bloom's taxonomy. What level are there altogether in Bloom's taxonomy? Mention two action verbs from each of the cognitive level. What are the use of Bloom's taxonomy in teaching learning? How will you use Bloom's taxonomy in your lesson plan? So, as a faculty, as a teacher, as an educator, if you apply the Bloom's taxonomy in your organization, you must question, you have to question this thing and you have to solve this thing by yourself and apply it in your organization. So this is the Bloom's. Actually, it is a butterfly wing, creating, evaluating, analyzing, applying, understanding, remembering. Actually is a higher order to lower order. Now if I say the lower order to higher, that is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So now, and you are a faculty, you know better than me that where your student stands for and where is student now in which stage. If they are in a remembering stage, then it is difficult for them to cope up the sustainable future education. Because if a student, the future leader, are not creating something, then they will not survive the sustainability in education in future. So happy Thursday for all. And another point is here, if you want it, you cannot do it. No, cut down the can. You can do it. And I can do it. So this is the motivational stage you must apply to your student. And thank you for your attention. And this is my contact number. If you have any type of question inside you, or you can contact with me anytime, just scan it from your mobile. This is my Facebook and LinkedIn address. So thank you so much for being your attention.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a very exhaustive and very, broad coverage of Bloom's taxonomy. We should really jump to the questions. We have one question over here which says, what is Bloom's taxonomy used for education? But I'd like you to take it as, why is Bloom's taxonomy used in education? And how do I use Bloom's taxonomy in teaching and learning? I think you've covered that very well. And what are the three types of learning based on Bloom's taxonomy, if you would like to take that as well. But I would really like you to take, why do we use Bloom's taxonomy in education? Why Bloom's taxonomy and not something else?
Yes, thank you so much. The audience who actually asked the question, very vital and important question. Why we use Bloom's taxonomy? Like when I just go beyond like 30 years or 50 years back, like we have a board in our classroom. So now we have the Google Classroom. In the pandemic situation, we understand a very much vital thing that online education is very much necessary for our student, for our child. Some of the people think that online education actually a valueless education, but actually not. Online education is very much important for each and everyone, because according to the online education, our students, our children can learn many things. So now the point is here that why Bloom's taxonomy we use in the education, because it is related with activity-based learning system. And if we just analyze it, when I worked with the World Bank, I surveyed various, that is called multinational organization CEOs. So when I surveyed at that time, when I asked them, what are the qualities you want from my student, you want from our student, you want from global student? They just ask us, they just answered only one answer, that we want performance, we want quality, we want activity. So if the student grade is A plus plus, or if he or she get the highest level of grade, that is not the main fact. Main fact is how can they apply it. In the Bloom's taxonomy, you observe that there is a psychomotor stage, there is a
Yes.
cognitive stage, there are the affective stage. In the cognitive stage, you have the sixth level, and in the stop level, you have to create something, you have to evaluate something, you have to analyze something. So that is the main point, that this is the part you apply the Bloom's taxonomy in the education sector.
Okay. That's a very good explanation. I think my our commenter is happy with your answer. On the same line, sir, I had a question while going through the presentation. Is the role of student motivation when it comes to Bloom's taxonomy? So, would you like to maybe expand on that and help me out over here as to what happens to student motivation when you apply Bloom's taxonomy, or what is the role of student motivation? Something on those lines, if you could
Yes,
elucidate.
yes. So the point is here that there are different types of faculties and teacher I observe in my student life. Some
Okay.
of the faculties, when I just went their class and I just said, oh no, it is not possible to do this course because the faculty is so much hard.
Okay.
He is so much strict. So some of the lectures you listen 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you are not bored at that time. So that is the
Absolutely.
main thing. If you are a faculty, this is a noble profession. As a teacher, it is a noble profession. So why you are go there for teaching? You select this career as a noble profession. You are the mentor. You are the role model of your student. So it is one of your tasks to motivate your student that how can they achieve their goal,
Absolutely.
because most of the students when they come from the A level and O level, when they come from A level and O level and just jump to the university level, that is tertiary level, and when they come to the tertiary level, at that time it is a great breakdown from them, that their grade is tremendously fall down. So at that time, as a faculty, you must motivate them. And according to the Bloom's taxonomy, you already observed that there are different domain, and one domain is affection.
Yes,
You
sir. Yes, sir.
understand the psychological behavior of your student. If you doesn't understand the psychology of your student, who is extrovert, who is introvert, then it is not possible to apply anything to your student.
Absolutely.
That is my main
Absolutely.
part.
Absolutely. You make a very wonderful point, sir. Thank you so much. And I'm very grateful that you took out time to make such a wonderful presentation talking about Bloom's taxonomy, the revised Bloom's taxonomy, in such great detail and depth for all our teachers, parents, and educators. Thank you so much. I think I have covered all the comments that have in gist. And I would like to invite Hello, can you hear me,
Yes,
sir?
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Would you like to share some parting thoughts before we conclude the talk today for
Okay,
our audience?
yes. So this is the pandemic era,
Yes, sir.
and we actually many of us doesn't know or do not know what is the word is called pandemic. So this is the
Yes.
time we understand the word that is lockdown, pandemic, COVID. So
Absolutely.
these are the new thing actually inside our mind. So I am just crossing most of the year of my life, but my child actually, he is now listening that lockdown, the COVID, the pandemic. Now it is my advice, each of us must keep safe ourselves, and
Absolutely.
also keep safe this world and our children and our families and our societies. Without understanding or without valuing the society, like in India, I think almost again lockdown is there, and
Absolutely. Sir.
in our country, in the whole world, again we know the Omicron is again come. So the
Absolutely.
COVID actually actually stand with us all over the life. Like, it is not possible that COVID is ended. No, it is not possible to think that COVID is ended. No, COVID is
Absolutely.
not ended, but yes, we changes our minds. So I give my little explanation that I am very much grateful to come this type of platform, a knowledgeable platform, and inviting me for giving my little bit lecture on, because I'm a very simple man. I have no knowledge depth. I am just analyzing the thing. You have the knowledge, you have the capacity, you have the capability, you have everything inside you, and I just give you the track. I just give you the path. So be safe, be healthy, and be happy in this world, in this time, and don't be in a depression. Always be in a good mood. That's yes, this is my life, and I will enjoy this life, and I will do it in every situation in my life.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful, heartwarming, and affectionate, a conclusion to this talk. I don't think I would have done it any better. Thank you so much for being here today and giving me the opportunity to host you and, your thoughts, your experience, your extensive experience as an educator and as, a researcher as well. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as you said, I hope you stay safe, everyone in your family and around. Stay safe and, hopeful of the future next to us. Thank
And
you so much, sir. I
thank
will now
you,
conclude.
thank you again to this organization, and also Neha, because
Thank you.
I also moderate some program of my
Okay.
organization. I know that as a moderator, it is a difficult task to listen your speaker or resource person, and you do a great job. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I'm truly blessed. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.